Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how they were never built to last the whole season. They are not built for the trials and tribulations. They not built for the confrontations. It's kind of why they maneuver so sneakily and, covertly the way they do. A lot of us, it took us a while to get to a space to understand that when you are engaging with beings in this reality, I don't care if it's your family, friends, spouses, any of them, you always gonna be able to tell which ones is built to be in your life longer than a season. You gonna always be able to tell which ones are gonna ride with you through no matter what. You gonna be able to tell which ones can handle conflict. Conflict isn't always two people trying to take each other's heads off. Sometimes conflict is just not coming to an agreement on a certain topic or subject. It doesn't always have to be as deep. Sometimes it is shallow. And for a lot of us, we went through a good portion of our life, trying to stay on a high with our peers, our families, the people at the jobs. And it took us a long while before we realized, we was giving these people a lot more respect and power and authority within our lives and over our lives than what they actually was worthy of. I'm not against sharing power. I definitely believe the power should be shared. But understanding these things, you've had situations, I've had situations where we went from meeting somebody, because we grown, I'll just say we met somebody at the job, a coworker. If you're a guy, maybe it was a guy friend, girl, maybe it was a girlfriend, just somebody of the same sex. Not on no witchy shit. We don't do that over here. And we were programmed and trained that when we are engaging with this new person, this new peer, that we're trying to figure out, because clearly we like something about their energy kind of cool, we kind of mesh vibe a little bit. But it's always that behind the scenes, that behind the curtains, that little thing that's laying down in the shadows in the backside, And it always surfaces or shows, and I use the work, for example, because you could be working with somebody and it could have been going really well. Y'all could have been having lunch together, y'all talking about all kind of stuff, sharing y'all TikToks, Instagram videos together, just doing all kind of things. And then all of a sudden you have a supervisor or another employee throws one of y'all under the bus, or let's say throws you under the bus, and it could possibly affect the other person. These are the situations where it shows how people are built and who are meant to last in your life for a season, or if it's supposed to be longer than a season. I'm over the seasons and reasons, because if you in for a season, you in for a reason, And if you in for a reason, it's either going to be a season or it's going to be a lot longer. So those two just kind of go hand in hand. People just kind of make cool sayings because they sound cool together, But you in your life for a reason or a season? Bitch, if you in my life for a season, that's for a reason. That makes sense to me. But understanding, that's why you have those situations where the coworkers throw you under the bus. When you have conflict with your siblings or your parents or different relatives and family members, and they brush you to the side or throw you under the bus. We are programmed for the demonic witchy playbook. So that means a lot of things that we do kind of robotically, we was taught the wrong way. We was just given the okay by society. And now that we in a better space, we on higher frequencies, we don't process that shit the same way. And that's why we get to these spaces where we understand, you aren't supposed to be on a high your entire life. Then you miss most of the valuable experiences because you're trying to ride a high. And they programmed us to these certain emotions, to kind of give us that invisible spiritual high that they figured we would be unaware of, or they knew it would take us a little while to process before we got to a space to comprehend it. Oh shit, it's not all about love. Love is secondary to even being in a peaceful state. You know what I mean? So you're not going to be able to give love or receive love if you're not in a peaceful state. That's just how that works. Like, why you think so many people run around angry, bitter, like just doing all the demonic things that they do? It's no peace in here. And in here, it's no peace. So without having that peace, they kind of lose that little disconnect to the avenue for them to follow that love frequency. If you was a little baby and you spent your whole life growing up from baby to adolescence to preteens to teens, and you've been programmed to be high your entire life, it's going to be a problem. It's going to make things a lot harder for you when it comes to engaging with people that you do care about, but it's something that they don't want to hear, or something that you know isn't going to, it's not going to feel the best, but you know that it's valuable and it's beneficial for y'all ship to grow or to move. We got a lot of demons, a lot of witches, we got a lot of robots that's just out here just operating, you know, just doing everything. Somebody the other day to me, yesterday, was just like, Happy New Year's. And my dumbass was like, Happy New Year's. In my world, I know damn well the new year doesn't start till March. But because the way this program is fucking set up, you have to be aware every single time you open your mouth. You won't be able to work and fix certain things within yourself if you aren't checking them yourself. I don't need nobody to tell me that it's not New Year's, and for me to just understand that the new year start when the new season starts, not in the middle of a season. I know that the next day doesn't start until the sun is actually up, not in the middle of the fucking night when the sun is not even around still. That's not a complete cycle. So that doesn't even make no sense to me whatsoever. Even when I was little, I wasn't that stupid to fall for that shit. I always said, even when I was younger, the next day don't start until the sun is up, until I close my eyes and wake back up. Because if I close my eyes at nighttime, I'm not getting up until the sun is up. If I close my eyes right before the sun is up, you should know that the sun is going to be up by the time I get up. That's how the process works. But we've been taught to ride this love high, this happy high. You know, all of these things that are not sustainable for a long period of time. Being on a high horse of just, people are looking to receive love, but they aren't looking to see how much love they can give out. In my world, that's what makes more sense. I'll process how much more love can I get out. If I know one vibration is stronger than the other vibration, then if I'm just only looking around and waiting to receive love, let me wait around. I'm gonna keep my hands in my pocket till somebody pops up with love, and then I'll receive it, and then I'll know what it is, and I'll know what to do with it. Fuck no. Fuck no. It's not how this works. That's how they'll manipulate you and tell you how it works, but that's not how it works. So that's why you get a lot of people stuck in these weird spaces where their belief system is connected to this witchy playbook, and they trying to figure out, I just want to be happy. I just want to be loved. Well, motherfucker, how much love are you giving out? Because what you think you giving out, you probably not actually giving out. It's really that simple. A lot of times, not a lot of times, but sometimes and some days I feel like I know the love vibration I'm pushing out isn't as strong as it is other days. I understand these things, but that doesn't mean that I don't still push the vibration. When I mean push vibration, let's say my normal usual vibration frequency number I like to push it on is like, 100 or 150. You know what I mean? Let's say that's my normal number. I like to push my love vibration frequency to. But on some other days, I may only be pushing it to 20, 30. Because it may be more tax going on. I may have just used a lot of energy previously, so now I'm trying to recharge up. And when you recharge, you have to be selfish to a degree. But that's the difference. Understanding when you're supposed to be selfish and when you're supposed to be selfless. And a lot of beings is stuck on the wrong playbook, and it's a lot of selfish beings. So the minute you get with somebody, friends, spouses, or somebody, and it like becomes a little bit of friction, motherfuckers start running. They start scrambling. It goes into like some kind of chaotic, like meltdown, breakdown. It's like they shit start malfunctioning. If you ever pour water on a computer or water on your phone, that's what be happening to some of these demons and these witches when the interest starts to conflict. And it's like, how do you get through anything if you don't know how to make it over these small humps? Or if you don't know how to make it over this big hump? How the fuck do you get through anything? How do you build anything sustainable if every motherfucker you run into is a runner and a track star? You're not going to be able to. It's going to make it extremely difficult, and then you're going to put more value on the shorter relationships and not worry about, you're not going to be as worried about extending the value on these shorter term relationships because you know it's popcorn, it's microwavable, you know it's instant. So that's where it gets a little tough at, because sometimes it don't be a whole full-out war, it just be a little, I don't want to say lack of communication, but not an in-depth or deep enough comprehension of how to use whichever language they're using to communicate and express within, outwardly, in a clear manner. It's probably about as safe as I could say that right now, and I probably gotta go back and listen to it, make sure I haven't made sense of myself. Because it does get a little tough out here sometimes when you try to build stuff and substance with people. Like when we play sports, you don't win every single game, so you take those losses with your teammates. And then y'all beat each other up that day, that game, and then the next week come around, y'all practicing, y'all trying to figure out how to pull it back together so y'all can be better for the next game. But a lot of people out here ain't doing that no more. So then it's like you putting all this energy and time into ships that never plan on sailing. I don't want to build a ship and then I'm not going to be able to sail in the ocean with it. That doesn't make sense to me. For all of that, I might as well make something else I can walk on this land with that'll be cool, you know, or be more valuable and beneficial to the people and community that's around me. But to make a boat and you don't sail it, to make a plane and don't fly it, you know what I mean? To make a car and don't drive it, it's like having legs and not walking. Like, every human wants to walk. They see all the little beings that look like them walking, and then they instantly are like, oh shit, I gotta start figuring out how to do this walk thing. I gotta get my legs right, my muscles right. You know, I don't know exactly what they're saying, but you can tell by their process, this is literally what the fuck they are doing. Literally. So you just gotta be mindful that, you know, when it comes to building things with substance, it got to be some compromise, but you also got to realize it has to be a righteous compromise. I ain't saying you just like go compromising values and principles and shit that's like extremely demonic. We don't operate that way over here. That's not how we vibe, you know. Even though we are all mixed into the same pot, you know. I don't have to do what the next person is doing. And that's the beauty in free choice and free will. Now, whether I like the consequences or not that comes with it, hey, that's up to me, you know. But we always got free will and free choice. That's one thing they'll never be able to take and remove from us. You see that in movies when people are getting tortured, you know, because most people ain't seen people get tortured in real life. Most people ain't seen people die or get killed in real life. But in movies, they desensitize us to all of it. So when it's actually really happening to people close to us, it's not really a huge emotional connection to it. You really don't even take life with any more value in your time and experiences here. Most people just be sad for the moment And then they back the fuck over it. They not even like doing anything to shift their life or make sure that they putting out a better vibration. You know? Because it's you get more value put on to your being when you're gone. Not the piece of meat, to your being. You know? So, since we are the more wiser ones, we have to be aware of what's happening around us. So when you find yourself in them spaces, if it's people that you fuck with and you care about, figure out the right verbiage and words to use so that way you can't compromise on a more righteous space and let them know, hey, yeah, I just punched you in the face, but I don't hate you. It's like a parent giving a child an ass whooping. They don't hate them. Some do. That's not how we vibe over here. So that's why I always like try to excuse that shit. Y'all, most people that's over here watch enough of this information. Y'all already know, like, I'm big on family, on taking care of the next generation, all of those things, you know what I mean? But just be mindful, you know, just be mindful of these things. And we are the checkpoints. We are the spiritual teachers and leaders, you know. Keep that in mind. But I ain't want to run it up too long. Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.
And it's for the same, it's time.